Page 34, Imagine. Top of the page, they're introducing you to a thing called a 16th note in 4/4 time. See, we've had 16th notes before, but they were in 6/8 time. And in 6/8 time, a 16th note gets half a beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and so forth. Well, in 4/4 time, a quarter note gets a count, so a 16th note gets a fourth of a beat. And the counting I use is 1-enda, 2-enda. They seem to use a slightly different counting. There are different ways of counting. Different teachers teach different things. I'd simply put an E and an A. 1 and 2 and 1-enda, 2-enda is how I do it. You can do it however you want to. I don't care. But that's how I keep track of them. Really, you can just go 1 and 2 and you know there's 2 16th notes in there and you can feel them. That usually works too. Now, if you're struggling with rhythm and you don't get the rhythm, I highly recommend, strongly recommend you go back to book 1 and go through books 1 and 2 again and concentrate on getting the rhythm, understanding it. Know that you can figure it out yourself, because this is getting tricky now. This rhythm in this piece is something else. There's a lot of syncopations and a lot of things going on here. So let's just be real careful on the rhythm. Please don't just wait until somebody plays it for you and then you just play it like that. You need to be able to read the music and figure the rhythm out yourself. However, I'm about to tell you what it is. Now, imagine, common timer 4/4 time. No sharps or flats, so we're in the key of C major. Except for any accidentals they stick in, we'll see. Right hand first. Let's get the notes and the fingering and the rhythm. That's the rhythm, that's the trouble. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and that's tied till beat 4, lift up. That's not too bad. Let's go on. Second line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. It's the same, isn't it? Last measure of that page. 1 and 2 and. See, that 8th note is on the and of 2. 1 and 2 and. Like so. I'll now go to page 35, second line. You've come up just a little bit. You got an 8th rest in there to come up. So it's 1 and 2 and 3. Now reach down. Now, those are just 8th notes. So 1 and 2, rest. During the rest, you come up. You got 16th notes. 4-enda, 4-enda. Like so. All on the 4th beat. 4-enda. Because then on 1, and they're fingering it. Come on, give me a break. This fingering. For the 16th notes, I recommend you do a 1, 2, 3, 1. This puts you in position for the next line where you can do a 2-4 and then a 1-3 and you're back to what they're doing. But I want to connect this. So those 2 measures there, the last 2 measures of the second line. 1 and 2 and rest and 4-enda. 2 and 3 and 4 and that's tied. So that rhythm is syncopated. You're playing on the off beats or between the beats a lot. So just. And the third line, 1, 2, lift up. It's a new phrase. You're gonna lift 3 and 4 and 1. 3. See, the G's tied. Well, temporarily take out the tie and play all those notes. That's what it is. 3 and 4 and 1. So, and 16th notes. Then put the tie back in. And 4 and 1 and second measure, the third line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 3-enda, 3-enda, 4. G sharp. Next line, 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and G sharp again. And some more goodies coming up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And this is similar to the rhythm we had before. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. That quarter note's on beat 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. See, now it's not an eighth rest, it's a quarter rest there in the second measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And then that C's tied all the way to the end. Because, see, you can only tie 2 notes together at a time. So if they want more than that, they have to string them like they did here. So, and the fingering, well, they got second finger. And then 5. Ugh. I just do 3. I just stay in this position. You're using the awkward fingers more, but you need to use the awkward fingers to help develop them, so don't shy away from them. So again, second measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now here you can do a 3-5 if you want. If you want, or you can just here and then substitute. Because you got time. Once you play it with third finger or whatever finger, just put fifth finger on it while you're holding it down. And then for the third beat, you just add the other notes to it. There. Left hand. Well, let's see if the left hand's got any sanity to it. You're starting here and here. You got to hold the whole note down as you play the eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and... Connect these eighth notes. And they've got a 4. The problem with that is I need the thumb again here. No, I don't recommend that fingering. That's a terrible fingering. No, I don't recommend that fingering. That's a rather awkward fingering. I mean, there's times we may have to do that, but come on. I suggest you do the 16th notes. Rather than 4, 3, 2, 1, you do a 1, 4, crossover for the A sharp. And now you're in position. You can go all the way up. The third beat, you're here. You just come down with, you can actually lift up if you want, except it's slurred. So just reach the thumb down, relax, reach the thumb down, and you're there. And as you play that, lift up on that. Here, so like so, and do that each time, that same fingering. It's pretty repetitious in the left hand. Over on page 35, second line, you get half notes. Now you ended the first line here. If you want, you can use thumb there. You can lift up and move down if you want. That's fine. You reach down, little finger, connect these. And then you get third line, 2 beats of rest, second measure, you hear 2, then cross over, and you're back up here. Connect all these half notes together. Put the hands together. These eighth notes in the left hand to help you keep 1 and 2 and you can see how the notes line up between the stabs. So just that last measure on that, okay, that's where it comes in. So you can get most of that way until you get to the second line on page 35. You don't get eighth notes all the time anymore. Now it's half notes, so the left hand's not going to help you out. So it's 1 and 2. Connect all this together except for the rest in the right hand. Again. And that G in the left hand is tied. See that curved line going across? That's tied, so you don't play it again. So 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. Put the hands together. See, watch the rhythm. It may not be what you think it is. Play what's written, not what you think it is. So again, the third line, you're here for the first 2 beats. And then on beat 3, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and those 2 measures. This is the 4th line down, the last measure, going on. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. These numbers at the bottom, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, they're counting this as though an eighth note's getting a count. They're counting this by eighth notes. I would prefer you just cross those numbers out. Don't even look at them. You need to be thinking of beats here. And it's in 4/4 time or common time, so it's 1, 2. And think about that 1. Because each beat gets a slight natural accent. 1, 2. And now we need to feel these. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and. And then at the end, hold the C down as you play the last bit. Then once you get that, no hesitations, the eighth notes are nice and even, the beat's nice and even. Then you go back and think about the slurring and the dynamics. This is a fairly smooth piece. Just connect it as best you can. And the dynamics apply to the melody. It's soft. Whatever you think that is. You're going to stay there until the second line on page 35, toward the end, it crescendos. You go up to loud. Here. Stay there. Come down. Now down to sort of soft. You stay sort of soft until the last line, or the next to the last line, last measure, crescendo. Up to medium loud here, and now the second measure you're loud. Here. That's the melody. Everything else has to be background. So that's very soft. And then the speed, well, it's a gentle thing. You find recordings of this. This is the kind of piece that when I upload this to YouTube, I get a copyright strike immediately, because this is not public domain music. So I have to turn off the monetization thing on it because I don't have the copyright to do this, but it's in the book, so it's a lesson, so I'm trying to do it anyway. So that's just the way it works sometimes. The fermata at the end, you hold that out as long as you feel you need to hold it out. Maybe that's where the pause is, I'm not sure. When I do this with a metronome, I just double the value, so I'd hold it out for 4 counts instead of 2 on the half note. Let's play this together very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. Do it one hand at a time if you need to. But I'm not going to do any dynamics or any of that. I'll give us 4 counts. Let's just try it slowly together. 1 and 2 and ready and go and 1. And 2 and 3 and 4.